Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today I'm here giving you a review of the Moto 360, the undisputed king of smartwatch design. It's really an awesome little watch, so I'm gonna quit chatting and just go right into it. So first and foremost, when you're talking about the Moto 360, you have to talk about the design because it's just without a doubt beautiful. Regardless of whether it's something you would wear, not only is it a sweet engineering feat because it is, for all practical purposes, a phone on your wrist, technology-wise, but it looks really nice and it looks like a nice regular watch, like a nice timepiece, and that's what Motorola was going for, and I think they succeeded pretty well. The whole flat tire effect that's on the bottom of the screen really doesn't bother me at any point. It really never has, and you just forget about it, really. The fact that the fact that the watch itself looks as nice as it does really does kind of take away from that, and it never really becomes an issue. So design aside, there is something that I really need to harp on, as much as I don't want to because I love this watch, and that's performance. The Moto 360 does not perform the way that the Moto 360 should. This is coming from a guy who had the G watch, the square, bricky, first generation G watch, but that little ugly piece of technology never stuttered. It never hiccuped. The Moto 360 does, whether it's registering just a tap on the screen itself, or maybe you're trying to close out of an application, it won't recognize it, or it just refuses to acknowledge the fact that you just interacted with it, which is frustrating because it's supposed to be something that's a quick way to interact with the notifications. Get in, get out, you're done, you don't get sucked into your phone, and you move on. It's a shame it can't be that way because I really have no other complaints from it aside from that, but it's a really big issue for me, and honestly the reason I'm going to return it. So going on with performance also comes battery life. Battery life is subpar. All smartwatches, I guess you could say, are subpar in battery department, but this one more so. If I can get through a whole day comfortably, a whole day being about 7 to 8 o'clock in the morning to about midnight, I'm more than content. If I can get there safely, I'm a happy camper because I'm asleep, I'll just throw it on the charger, I've got a million wall outlets. But I can hardly ever do that. I'm very active, I do get a lot of notifications, probably more so than the average person. I'm a college student and I also do this, so I probably get more than you would. And the fact that it can't keep up with that is a little disappointing. Combine that with the fact that it has some performance issues, it's kind of concerning, and it's kind of a bummer because I love everything else about the watch so much. I want it to succeed so badly, but it doesn't. On the topic of battery, the charging is really cool. It does use the Qi wireless charging standard. I actually left my charger at work one day and I decided, oh crap, now I'm gonna have a dead watch for the next day. But then I thought, oh wait, no, I have a wireless charger at home. I plopped it on there, charged just fine. So that's really cool and really convenient because no other watch really has that right now. They're all proprietary with their own weird little charging stands. That's a big plus. Charging takes about an hour going from 0 to 100, not too shabby. You can throw it on for half an hour or 15 minutes while you shower and just get some extra juice, it's fine. I wouldn't suggest showering with it, even though it is IP67 certified, because there have been some reports of people having issues with water damage. Plus the leather band to me just doesn't seem like something I would want to wet aside from maybe washing my hands or doing an occasional dish. But overall, it's nice and you shouldn't have to worry about it too much. I've actually gotten a lot of compliments on the Moto 360, which is really cool because first and foremost, it looks like a normal watch, it looks like a nice watch, and then when you throw the Android Wear smartwatch factor in there, their minds are just blown. So it's really cool. One, because you kind of get to show off a little bit, but two, because you have something that looks attractive and is also pretty functional when it works. Speaking of things that work, the heart rate monitor, as much as I want it to work, rarely does. Really disappointing. Even sometimes when I'm just sitting there on the couch and I say, I don't know, I'm just bored, let's mess with my watch and let's check my heart rate. Half the time, maybe 60 to 70% of the time, it'll get my heart rate, but then the rest of the time, you're lucky if it pulls anything. The biggest frustration for me is post-workout. I do some pretty intense workouts. I want to see what my heart rate is right after I'm done to see where I'm at. And never will it ever get my heart rate, which most of the time doing a workout is when you want to know what your heart rate is, and for it to not work in that critical moment is really disappointing. So functionality wise, I mean, the Moto 360 suffers from the same things that Android Wear suffers from. It's kind of like a beta software right now, a beta operating system. It works pretty well, but you can tell that there are features that are missing, and those features that are missing kind of suck. You should be able to type on a smartwatch. Maybe not yet, but you should be able to, because it's cool, because it really emphasizes the whole avoiding pulling your phone out of your pocket and getting sucked into it ideal. You can't yet, and that's kind of a pain. In the future, I think it's going to happen. There are already some third-party keyboards that are available, so it's going to happen. It's just not there yet. Overall, I really like the Moto 360. I want so badly for it to succeed. I want to keep it so badly, but I can't. For $250, my personal experience has just not been good enough to warrant keeping it. I know a lot of people have had some great experiences, and for you, I'm super jealous. I could go through the whole process of returning it, getting a new one, exchanging it, all that stuff, but for me, it's just not worth it when there are other competitors that I can try. I want it to work so bad. I want it to be the best. I love the design of it. I love just everything of it, the premium feel. It's not per se as premium as some other real watches would be, but I think I said this in the unboxing video too, that's related to the overall heft of the device. It's pretty light, which is really nice, and it's important because that's a smartwatch, and being light is the best thing they could have done. But because it's light, it's a two-edged sword, and it takes away from the premium feel a little bit. Not to say it feels cheap by any means, because it doesn't, but it's not quite as premium as a real nice watch would be. And for $250, I expect that. Would I recommend the Moto 360? If you don't have the performance issues that I have, I would hands down recommend it for anybody looking for a good smartwatch, because it really is, in my mind, the best one out there design-wise, and I think that it needs to look like a normal watch before it becomes a smartwatch. And that's one thing that the Moto 360 excels at, and in my opinion beats everything, except possibly the G-Watch R. We'll see once I review that one. My major concern with this watch is in the long haul. The processor it uses is a TI LMAP 3, which is a 4-year-old processor. The other ones are using Snapdragon 400s, which is much more current. My fear is that in 6 months to a year, whenever the next major Android Wear software update comes out, it's either A, not going to get it, or B, going to be a lot more sluggish than the competitors. It's not to say it's unusable now, but some of the use cases where it messes up is really frustrating. So that's it for my Android Wear / Moto 360 review. Overall, it really is a great piece of hardware, and if there was a way to get it for like 50 bucks, I would hands down recommend it. Even if you could use it as just a watch, and not even like a notification hub, but just as a watch for dirt cheap, it looks fantastic, so I would hands down recommend it. For $250 or even $217 like I got open box, I don't know that I can suggest it when there are such cheaper options available that work well. I'm going to try out the LG G-Watch R and see how that one works and see how it compares. I still think that this is the king of Android Wear watches right now. It just has some issues that are really bothersome, and if there's a way to work those out, it would make this watch nearly flawless. So that's been all for this review. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think of this new format of my reviews. I don't know, it's more comfortable for me, and I like it because I feel more personal, and I want to be able to do that, and it's fun for me too. So let me know if you have any questions about it or anything I might do in the future, or suggestions for anything I should do in the future. Drop those down below. If you enjoyed the video, feel free, give a thumbs up down below. It makes me feel good about myself, all warm and fuzzy, and subscribe for future content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.